Today I'm doing a 2-year update to my review on the GX pump model CS2. Does it still work as good as it did in the beginning? We're about to find out. I'm Dustin and you're watching Legacy Air Guns. Well, I've received a lot of questions in the comment sections on my previous videos of this GX pump, asking if it still works, how does it hold up over time, and to be honest, I've been using this all along, ever since I bought it. I rarely use a tank anymore because the tanks you have to fill up, and I do the tank sometimes if I'm out in the field, like when we're out squirrel hunting and stuff, but if I'm at the range, or sometimes even if I am squirrel hunting, I'll still use this. At the range, I use this exclusively. It works really well. And I thought I would demonstrate that since I get asked so much. And I do have a rifle, my FX Dynamic, that needs to be filled. So why don't we give it a fill and I'll show you how the pump is still working. Here you can see the gauges on my FX Dynamic. The top one up here is the regulator. We're not worried about that right now. This is the main gauge for the tank. It fills to 250 bar, which is right over here on the far right side. It's currently at about 160 to give you an idea of how much filling we're going to do. I've now got my GX pump CS2 right over here, and the only thing that's a little inconvenient about it is when you're filling using a wall outlet for power, it doesn't plug straight into that. Instead, it just has these connectors for a battery, so I have to use this converter, which when I bought the pump, I bought it in a kit that came with this. So I'm going to plug that in now to an outlet, and when I do that, you're going to hear the fan come on. At least I think you can probably hear that. That's coming from this. And now I'm going to connect these to the converter. Let me slide it over where you can see it. That is the positive. And when the negative gets hooked up, you're going to hear the fan on this. And that's going to start getting a little noisy. So that's what it sounds like when you turn on the fan. It is a little bit loud, and I unhooked it just so I can finish explaining the fill process. I'll hook that up again, you'll hear the fan come on, and then I'm going to connect the pump right here to the little fill port on the bottom of the rifle. And then when I turn on the power, which is on the back, it's going to start pumping. And I've got the bleed valve open right down here, so it's not actually going to pump. You don't want to start pumping this when it's already under pressure, so you keep that open. Turn it on, you'll hear it start to work, and then I'll close this and it will start to fill. And then from there, I'll move the camera to the gauges so that you can watch it, and I'll speed that process up, but I will let you keep your eyes on the gauge. I may break just once during the fill because of temperature, but I shouldn't have to do that more than one time. So now that you know the process, let's give it a go. All right, if you can hear me, that is now right on 250 bar. And I've turned off the pump, but I still have the fans going, just so that it can cool off a little bit before I actually turn those off. I want the temperature to go down. I thought I might need to take a break, but I actually never did. All throughout that fill, which took just a little over 5 minutes is all. I know it went much faster for you because I sped up the camera, or the footage, but it took just over 5 minutes. It fills just very slightly warm. Sometimes when I'm filling up a gun that's closer to empty than this was, I'll have to stop because this will start to feel pretty hot and I don't want to overwork it. And then I just turn off the pump but let the fans continue. But again, this is just slightly warm, never even had to have a break once. Filled that up, and again, just over 5 minutes. So I'm still impressed with this little thing. There's just one last step before I disconnect this hose from the gun. Keep in mind, this is still pressurized to 250 bar, so if I just disconnect it over here, that's going to go whipping around like crazy. So we need to bleed that pressure off, and this is the bleed valve right here. The air bleeds out the end of this tube, so you'll hear that happen as I twist this. I even saw just a little bit of moisture come out of there, but that's all right. And now it's safe to go ahead and disconnect. And it's just a little quick disconnect female Foster fitting that goes right onto the gun or onto a fill probe if that's what your gun uses. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this 2-year update today on the GX Pump CS2. For those of you who've been asking, if you're asking because you're considering a purchase and want to know if it's worth it, I would say that it is. And at the time that I bought mine, which I bought on Amazon, in fact, I'll put a link down in the description below, but I bought it, it had the option to get a 4-year protection plan. I don't remember actually what I paid for that, but I bought the plan. And I would recommend that because I don't remember it costing enough to really offset the price of the pump too much. And it's good peace of mind. I'm halfway through my 4 years of protection, and so far so good. I haven't needed to use that because, as you can see, the pump is working just fine. And when you compare it to others, it's pretty affordable. My only real complaint, the only feedback I would offer GX Pump is I don't like that I have to connect that converter before I can plug into a wall outlet. If I'm out in a vehicle where I have to, hook to the car battery, then yeah, great. It's nice that I can just use this cord. But when I'm just at a here at the house or something like that, and there's a wall outlet, or even the back of my truck has a regular wall outlet in the bed, it'd be nice to have an option to just plug into this. So if anybody from GX Pump is watching, there's my one bit of feedback I would offer. But other than that, as far as performance, this thing has just been fantastic and required. I haven't even reached any point where I've had to do any maintenance like grease or anything. I've just changed out air filters, which is in the handle here. And if I've got the other one attached here, I have replaced the little foam in there. And it came with the foam that I need to do that. I haven't had to buy any more. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe found the information helpful. I'd appreciate it if you click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel. It's not only to help the channel grow, but so you can be here to get more videos. Thank you all so much for watching.